Hello, friends of the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Boulder County. My name is Carla Colin. I am the Program and Membership Manager for the Chamber. And we are here with a friend that is going to tell us about an amazing program and something that is for youth, which it's so important that us as parents and me as the mom of a teenager need to know sooner rather than later and before the spots are filled. So I want to welcome Natasha to this interview, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself. But Natasha, I'm sorry, works for City of Boulder. So Natasha, welcome, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Natasha Steinman. I am the program manager for the Junior Ranger program for City of Boulder's Open Space and Mountain Parks. And this is my 7th or so season in the position. And quick fun fact about me is that I actually grew up here in Boulder, and my very first job was as a teenager in the program that I now get to run. So it's a really special, near and dear to my heart program, and just a huge honor that I get to circle back and provide the same experience for today's youth.
That is amazing. That I didn't know this before we started the interview, so that is super cool to know. I'm glad that you're able to keep seeing the program running from another perspective now after having the experience, the direct experience with it. So I'm glad you shared that with us. So Natasha, let's start with my first question, and it is, what do the Junior Rangers do?
Yeah, so Junior Rangers, the program's been around for 50 years, so the name doesn't exactly explain what we do, but we are basically a youth conservation corps, and it's a first job for teenagers. And so most of our work is, well, all of our work is outdoors. We are outside for 7.5 hours a day, 4 days a week, and we are hiking and we are maintaining and constructing new hiking trails for the most part. So getting to use proper body mechanics, digging in the dirt, getting dirty, experiencing nature, working together as a team, moving like rocks into place to make stair steps, things like that. And then we also get to work with some of the other specialty groups in open space and mountain parks. So each crew also gets a day with the forestry team, who they really look up to. They're very cool. And working with agriculture teams, and just kind of seeing all the different pieces of land stewardship and taking care of this amazing place we live.
That's amazing. I really like that. So how do Junior Rangers work? Are they alone? Are they in groups? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. They are all in teams. And so each day they show up to the same meeting location. The team gets together, makes a plan for the day, gathers the tools they need, and then they go together out to the work site. And so that could be anywhere from trails at Chautauqua, which most people are familiar with, to like a small neighborhood trail in North Boulder, to somewhere out on the plains, or sometimes up Flagstaff Road up into the mountains. And they work together as a team. They spend the whole day together with their 9, so it's 10 Junior Rangers, high school age, and then 2 leaders. So there's always someone there with experience to help them problem solve and show them what work to do. And each team, like every once in a while, there's kind of individual work, but they're still like near each other. And more often than not, we actually work in teams of 2 or 3 within that group of 12. So it's a very team-oriented program, which I love. I love working in teams. And it gives them a lot of really great skills for how to work together as well.
Yeah, no, thank you for explaining that. And that takes us to my next question. So what important job skills do young people develop while working here?
Yeah, honestly, I personally feel like there's too many to count. There's so many different aspects that this job touches on. I think to start, it's a first job for a lot of, we hire 14 to 17-year-olds. So for those 14-year-olds, sometimes this is their very first job. Sometimes the 17-year-olds, it's their very first job, right? And so they're learning first job skills as well. And we, Chuy and I and the other coordinators, that is part of what we do as leadership staff, is help train them on those really important first skills, like how to show up on time, what do you need to bring to be prepared for work, how do you resolve conflict if you don't agree on like an approach to a problem or a project. But then you also learn things that are more practical to the job. How do you build a trail? What is the function of a trail? How do you use your body safely to dig for 7 hours a day, for example, or carry heavy buckets? So we do a lot of focus on physical strength training and injury prevention as well, which I have had so many young people come back to me 5 or 10 years later and say, it's junior rangers that taught me how not to hurt my back when I'm working. And I've carried that into other jobs. Like one of my crew leaders from several years ago just recently reached out and told me that she implemented a whole safety program. She's helping coral reefs somehow. And so she is diving with heavy dive equipment. And she installed like this whole new safety program for all these people who had been in the industry for like 10, 20, 30 years. Here she comes brand new and says, hey, let's do this safer. So it's all different types of skills. It's, physical, hands-on skills, it's interpersonal skills, how to build a team, how to communicate effectively, how to delegate leadership, but it's also how to like stay safe and keep your body safe and show up to work.
Definitely. I like that. Something that we were mentioning in the Spanish interview, because if you don't know these friends, we're going to have this interview in Spanish as well. And we're going to have the description of everything that Natasha and that Chuy mentioned during the interview. That way you don't have to worry about taking notes or anything. We're going to have their contact information, link to where to apply and all those things in the description. But something that we were talking in the Spanish version was how important it is to be part of the Junior Rangers, to know and understand nature and how to respect the spaces that are in the area that sometimes we don't know, and that we don't know how. We see amazing views in Boulder and we see all these nature flowers and animals, but we think that they've been there and they're always going to be there. But if we don't take care of it, it's really hard to imagine not having these views for the future generations. So we need to take care of them. So I think that's another great skill that they learn, how to respect and protect nature, especially when they live around the area.
Yeah, and that's a really great point. I'm glad you brought that up, because part of the job actually is also education time. So we actually like bring in experts in the fields, like whether they're an expert on raptors and birds or like bears or native flowers, wildflowers. We bring them in to do education time with our crews as well. And that's paid time as well. So it's really cool. We actually pay you to work hard, but also to learn. And that is because of what you just shared, that it's so important that those that live in this amazing ecosystem, in this amazing place, understand kind of what it takes to protect the nature around here.
Definitely. So you mentioned already that is for youth between 14 and 17 years old, but what are other job requirements for them to apply?
Yeah, so it's 14 through age 17, so 17-year-olds also encouraged to apply. And our basic requirements are to be willing to work in a team, have some good teamwork experience already, whether that's, working or playing on a sports team, working on group projects at school, even like working together in a family unit, like any of that applies. That's our most important kind of requirement, is that they can work on a team. But then you don't need any experience in the outdoors or with trail work. We will teach you all of that. So it's really just an age requirement, teamwork, experience, willingness to work outside all day. Those are the main requirements, honestly, because we know it's a first job. And so we're not expecting people to come in with a lot of prior experience.
Got it. Yeah. And what about those? And now that you're mentioning that they've had experience, like working in teams and things like that, what about those that are not sure if they had the experience? Because some of them might not do sports or might not have a lot of time, sharing with other students or other people in their community. Can they apply? But then if they have the right attitude and the willingness to work in team, is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. we're looking for attitude more than experience because it is a first job, right? So if someone is excited about that opportunity to work with others and demonstrates a willingness to do that, then absolutely you should apply. And yeah, we don't, and this might be another question, but we don't do like any sort of like screening of the applications themselves. Actually, because it's a real job and it's through city government, local government, you do need to apply through the city government portal, but then we actually invite all applicants to interview, because we know that like it's really hard, especially when you're brand new to the workforce, to describe yourself in an application, right? That is like a barrier that many people have faced. And so we just need your basic information so we can contact you. And then we send you a questionnaire and a scheduling form to schedule your interview and kind of give us a little bit more information about yourself, like what kinds of crews you'd like to be on, like there's some other questions there. So all youth who apply are invited to interview, and that's your opportunity to share your willingness to be on a team.
Got it. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Something that I want to ask you, and it's not on my list of questions, but when do applications open and when do they close?
Yes, they are currently open now. They just opened earlier this week, and they close on March 31st. And that is the same every year too. So we try to be predictable so that people know when to expect it. The application always opens mid to late February and closes at the end of March.
Got it. Okay, we're gonna make sure to put that on the description of the video. And I just want to thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Thank you again for the invitation. And I would just add that, yeah, if you're interested in spending the summer outdoors and you want to earn a little bit of money, and work with some great people and meet some new friends, then you should absolutely apply.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Natasha. And we're gonna have these two interviews, the English version and the Spanish version, soon in our YouTube channel and Facebook page. So yeah, look, if you feel more comfortable hearing this in Spanish, please look for the interview in Spanish and vice versa. Thank you so much. And I will look forward to for you to let us know if a lot of Latino kids or Latino families were applying for these jobs. So thank you so much.
Thank you.